Yes. Yeah. See the next topic. A ratio and proportion. A ratio and proportion. See, actually, what is the ratio? What is the proportion? See, 10 kgs, 20 kilometers. Is it ratio? Say yes or no? No. Why? So units are different. Is there any conversion from kgs to kilometers or kilometers to kgs? There is no conversion, right? So units should be same, right? So here 10 kgs, 20 kgs. Is it ratio? Yes, right? So here units are same, right? Next one, 10 kgs, 2000 grams. Is it ratio? Say yes or no? Yes, here we have the conversion from kgs to grams or grams to kgs, right? So 30 years, 20 years. Is it ratio? Yes. Next one, 30 years, 2040 days. Is it ratio? Yes. So here the ratio of two quantities A and B are in the same units. Are in the same units. Is the fraction that one quantity to the another quantity. ఏం చేయొచ్చు? Simply we can say comparison. Simply we can say comparison of two elements or two objects, right? So A ratio B, A is to B or A by B, A by B. So here A is called as numerator, B is called as denominator. Here we knows very well, right? See, my first question is in 5 by 7, in 5 by 7, 5 is called as dash. Option A consequent, option B antecedent, option C none of these. Which one is correct one? None of these. So here none of these 100% wrong. See, without option none of these, so which one is correct one? Here we have to choose option A 50% chance, option B 50% chance. So which one is correct one? ఏది కరెక్ట్? చెప్పలేరు ఎందుకంటే మీకు తెలియదు కదా. సో తెలియనప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తాము? ఏదో ఒకటి పెట్టేస్తాం. అక్కడ సిక్స్త్ సెన్స్ వాడతాం మనం బాగా. వాడేసి ఏదో ఒకటి పెట్టేసి నెక్స్ట్ క్వశ్చన్కి వెళ్ళిపోతాం. కానీ ఇది చాలా సింపుల్ ఈజీ క్వశ్చన్. అసలు కాన్సెప్టే ఇంపార్టెంట్. సో దీనిపైన డైరెక్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ ఇదే అడిగారు అనుకోండి బిస్కెట్. సో ఇక్కడ ఏని ఏమంటారమ్మా? ఏ ఈజ్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ న్యూమరేటర్, న్యూమరేటర్ is called as antecedent, antecedent. So B is called as denominator, denominator is called as consequent, consequent, right? A is called as antecedent and B is called as consequent, right? C, write the first point. First point ratio. The ratio of two quantities, the ratio of two quantities A and B, A and B are in the same units, are in the same units, is the fraction that one quantity to the another quantity, one quantity to the another quantity. That is A is to be or A ratio B or A by B or A by B. Here A is called as antecedent and B is called as consequent. A is called as antecedent and B is called as consequent. Next, write a note point. Note the multiplication or division of each term of the ratio each term of the ratio by a same non-zero number does not affect the ratio but it is not same for addition or subtraction. It is not same for addition or subtraction. Right, example 1. 1 is to 2 is equal 10 is to 20. 1 is to 2 is equal 10 is to 20. Here multiplied by a same non-zero number, that is 10. 1 into 10, 10. 2 into 10, 20. Next one, example 2. 10 is to 20 is equal 1 is to 2. 10 is to 20 is equal 1 is to 2. Here divided by a same non-zero number, that is 10. 10 by 10, 1. 20 by 10, 2. Next, example 3. 3 is to 5 is not equal 5 is 7. 3 is to 5 is not equal 5 is 7. Here we are adding 2. 3 plus 2 ratio 5 plus 2 that is not equal 5 is 7. Next one, 4 is to 5 is not equal 2 is to 3. Minus 2, minus 2. Right, the multiplication or division of each term of the ratio by a same non-zero number does not affect the ratio. But it is not same for addition or subtraction. ఏదైనా ఒక రేషియోని ఏదో కాన్స్టెంట్ నెంబర్తో మల్టిప్లై చేసినా డివైడ్ చేసినా ఆ రేషియోలో చేంజెస్ ఏం రావు. క్లియర్? ఒకవేళ అడిషన్ సబ్ట్రాక్షన్ చేస్తే ఆ రేషియో కంప్లీట్గా చేంజ్ అయిపోతుంది చెప్తున్నాడు. ఓకే, రైట్. ప్రపోర్షన్, side heading proportion. An equality of two ratios is called as proportion. An equality of two ratios is called as proportion. A ratio B is equal to C ratio D. Ratio AB is equal to ratio CD. Next line, A by B is equal to C by D. Next line, AD is equal to BC. AD is equal to BC. Here A and D are called extreme terms. A and D are called extreme terms. B and C are called mean terms. B and C are called mean terms. Okay, na? Write a note point. Note, note, the product of extreme terms, the product of extreme terms is equal the product of mean terms. The product of extreme terms is equal to the product of mean terms. The product of mean terms. Next, types of ratios. Types of ratios. Types of ratios. See the first one, duplicate ratio, DR. DR, duplicate ratio. The duplicate ratio of A is to B is, the duplicate ratio of A is to B is A square ratio B square. A square ratio B square. A square ratio B square. See the first question example. Find the duplicate ratio of find the duplicate ratio of 32 and 35. 32 and 35. And 35. Answer 32 square 1024, 35 square 1225. Option C. Option C. 32 square 35 square. Next, sub duplicate ratio, SDR. SDR. The subduplicate ratio of A is to B is square root of A ratio square root of B. Square root of A ratio square root of B. Square root of A ratio square root of B. See the example. Find the subduplicate ratio of 729 and 841. 729 and 841. Under root 729. Under root 841. 27 29. 27 29. Option A. Option A. Okay, now next, triplicate ratio. Triplicate ratio. The triplicate ratio of A is to B is, the triplicate ratio of A is to B is A cube ratio B cube. A cube ratio B cube. A cube ratio B cube. Okay, now right. Next, find the triplicate ratio of 13 and 14. Find the triplicate ratio of 13 and 14. 13 cube, 14 cube. 13 cube, 14 cube. Answer 2197, 2744. 2197 and 2744. Next, sub triplicate ratio, STR. STR. The sub triplicate ratio of A is to B is cube root of A ratio cube root of B. Cube root of A ratio cube root of B. Cube root of A ratio cube root of B. Okay, right. Find the sub-triplicate ratio of 1331 and 1728. Cube root of 1331. Cube root of 1728. So 11 and 12. 11 is to 12. 11 is to 12. Okay, next, types of proportion. Types of proportion. Here we have different types, right? First one, fourth proportion. Fourth proportion. If A is to B is equal C is to D, A is to B is equal C is to D, then A, B, C are three terms and D is the fourth term. A, B, C are three terms and D is the fourth term. Actually here we have three terms, A comma B and C. Let the fourth term, let it as D. Let it as D. After that, A is to B is equal C is to D, A by B is equal C by D, next AD is equal BC. Fourth proportion, AD is equal BC. Next, find the fourth proportion of 8, 4 and 16. 4, 8 and 16. The fourth term, let it as X. Okay na? So AD is equal to BC. 4 into X is equal to 8 into 16. X is equal to 32. The fourth term is 32. The fourth term is 32. Fourth term is 32. Okay na? Right, next. Third proportion. If A is to B is equal B is to C, then A and B are two terms and C is the third term. A, B, C. The third term, let it as C. Now you just write A comma B, B comma C. Okay now. So A by B is equal to B by C. B square is equal to AC. B square is equal to AC. Or B is equal to under root AC. B is equal to under root AC. Okay na? Right. Next, find the third proportion of 4 and 18. Four and 18. 4, 8 and X. B square is equal to AC. 8 square is equal to 4 into X. 8 into 8 is equal to 4 into X. Answer 16. The third term is 16. The third term is 16. Third term is 16. The third term is 16. Okay? Right. Next one. Mean proportion. Mean proportion. The mean proportion of A and B is square root of A into B, under root A into B. Yes. Next, find the mean proportion of 4 and 16. Under root 4 into 16. So 64. That is equal to 8. Okay, na?